Good afternoon. At the tone, Pacific Daylight Time will be 5, 4, and 30 seconds.
What? Oh my God, we're having an earthquake. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. Can you feel that?
I sure can.
Okay, this is interesting. There go the lights. Oh.
We are here at the Scotts Valley Library. It is the 10th of October, 2019. We are here with Kathy Trent to talk about the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome, Jen. Thank you for having me.
Can you start by telling me how long you've been in Santa Cruz?
Yeah, a little over 70 years, and actually have lived in Scotts Valley during that period of time.
The whole time?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
A true local.
Yeah.
So can you tell me your earthquake story?
Yes. So I was working at World Savings, which is at the head of the mall on Pacific Avenue, right across from the town clock, and it's a two-story building. It's still there, but a different business there now. And I was working upstairs, and I was sitting in my office, which had a pretty large window that overlooked the parking lot in the back of the building, which then was facing Center Street. And I started hearing this deep rumbling noise, which really sticks in my mind because it just seemed to go on for a very long time, and it was very loud. And right after that, the shaking started. And I was pretty used to earthquakes, so just kept sitting at my desk. And then it started increasing in intensity, and there was another woman that was working upstairs with me, and she was out in the lobby area sitting at one of the desks. So I got up from my desk and stood in the doorway, and she came and stood in the doorway with me, and we couldn't believe how much the shaking just continued. And there were typewriters on the desks at that point in time, and they're pretty heavy, but they were just flying off the desks. It was pretty incredible. And at one point, the doorstop came loose, and the door came and hit me in the back of the head, so that was kind of shocking. And then when it stopped, which seemed like it was a very long time, we grabbed our belongings and we went downstairs. The building didn't have an elevator, so we just went down the steps. And when we got down into the lobby area, which was at that time the savings department, I don't remember that there were any other employees there. There was a large metal sculpture that was in the building by the back doorway to get in, and it had fallen over and was blocking the doorway, so we had to kind of climb over it to get out. And when we got outside, everything was pretty eerily quiet. There was a lot of dust in the air that was just really thick looking, almost like you'd been in a dust storm, and you could almost smell the dust. We knew there'd been major damage done, but we really didn't know how much because we were at the back of the building, and we really just wanted to get home. So we got in our cars and went up Mission Street to get onto the freeway. And as you go south on Highway 1 and you kind of go over 17, the guardrails and everything on the side of the road had just crumbled, and there was just concrete everywhere. I don't know if it fell onto 17 or not. I suppose it's a good possibility. And then there was quite a bit of traffic because everybody had started leaving work at that point in time. But everybody was pretty considerate of everyone else, you know, driving. And so I got to Scotts Valley to our home, and we had quite a bit of damage. Our chimney came down on the roof. We had a lot of glass breakage in the house, and it was it was pretty traumatic, and we were without power for 5 days. Luckily, the weather was warm, and so people weren't freezing at that point in time. But
yeah. Did you understand the significance of the earthquake when it was happening?
No, not really. We didn't know how far spread it had been. And I don't think we knew until we heard a radio later that evening just how bad it had been everywhere. We just knew what was going on in the Santa Cruz area locally. So to hear what had happened in the Bay Area was pretty incredible also.
Was that kind of the moment when you realized, oh, this is a much bigger deal?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Did the earthquake impact your life? And if so, how?
No, not really. I mean, it was bigger than anything we'd experienced, but I don't think anything really changed in our life. The only thing that it really changed for me was that I wasn't working in Santa Cruz anymore. We closed the loan department there, and I was commuting then to San Jose for the next 25 years. So that was really the only thing. Other than that, our lives went on as usual.
How long did it take for things to feel like they had gotten back to normal?
Oh gosh. For a long time, because when you would go downtown, you'd see so much that had happened. And it was sad even after the earthquake with the buildings that had come down, because things like the Cooper House, which had been the former courthouse, and I had worked there in the assessor's office years before, and worked in that building, and to see it have to come down was really sad also. So it went on for a pretty long period of time with everything that was going on.
And how about the aftershocks?
There were a lot of aftershocks that went on, and I think everybody was pretty much afraid that there was going to be another big one, but of course there weren't. It was really sad that we were next door to the coffee roasting company, and that building came down, and there were people that were killed in there, and that was really sad, and some of the other buildings in Santa Cruz. So,
do you think the earthquake impacted the Santa Cruz community?
It did. I think everybody was just really sad that, you know, to see all the buildings come down, but everybody seemed to pull together, work together, trying to help everybody else. Even like in our neighborhood, all the neighbors were trying to help one another, whether it was, you know, for food or trying to share generators so we could all, you know, survive in a better way. So there were many good parts of it too.
Sure. Do you take any precautions against natural disasters after your experience?
Well, we already did. We had a generator. We've always had extra water, the batteries, flashlight, everything they tell you to use. So we've just continued on with that. So
great.
Yeah.
What is it like to reflect on your experience 30 years later?
Well, it doesn't seem like it's been 30 years. That's the first thing. And I guess there's always the thought that you don't know when the next one is going to happen. That's going to be another big one. So other than that, we don't think about it very often.
Yeah, it's a good thing you have those the generator and the water, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you'd like to add that we didn't cover?
I don't think so. I'm just glad to see that Santa Cruz as a whole survived, and again, it was sad to see the buildings that were gone, but it's good to see that it was built up, and finally it looks like the last building has, you know, gone up, which is good, and instead of seeing the gaping hole that was there for so long.
Yeah. Do you know what was in that place?
That coffee roasting company.
That was the coffee roasting company?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I knew that that hole had been there since then, but I didn't know what was there previously.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently there were lawsuits going on with the building for a really long period of time, so it seemed like there were different times that they were going to try and rebuild, and then something would happen and we would read about it in the newspaper. That's the only information I had. But yeah, it was sad to have that hole there for so long because it kept bringing back all those memories about it. So.
Great. Well, if that's it, I really appreciate you coming here and sharing your story with us.
You're welcome, Jan. Thank you.